Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hi. Um, how is everybody? I am glad that you stopped by. I don't know about you, but it definitely feels like the world's been spinning a mile a minute lately. Like I'm running as hard as I can, but everything is still a blur, almost like Flash, right? Um, I'm sure that some of you guys have been feeling that way. I know that it feels like I have been chasing my tail for a hot minute because since we came back from our last race, I have not been able to get myself in sync and um, I really need to focus. I was looking at the reading for today, March 9th, and it really made me stop and think. It talks about how fast everything is moving, but it said that there's a spot in the middle of it all where things can actually be quiet. And it kind of reminds me of a tornado. You've got all that mess and the wind whipping around you, and it's all on the outside. And it's just, you got cars and chaos, and just, it's insane. But right in the center, right in the eye of it, it's actually still and quiet. And um, yeah, it's that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, so I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna read today's devotional, and the verses that are after it, and then we'll dive into my thoughts. So let me know if y'all think of anything. March 9th. Rest in my radiant presence. The world around you seems to spin faster and faster until everything is a blur. Yet there's a cushion of calm at the center of your life, where your life in union with me, where you live in union with me. Return to this soothed center as often as you can, for this is where you are energized, filled with my love, joy, and peace. The world is a needy place. Do not go there for substance. Instead, come to me. Learn to depend on me alone, and your weakness will become saturated with my power. When you find yourself, when you find your completeness in me, you can help other people without using them to meet your own needs. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. I giggle because um, I'll have to come back to that. I'll tell you why I giggled. 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That's 2 Corinthians 12:9. 1 John 4:12 says, no one has ever seen God. But if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. I love the idea that the book calls it a cushion of calm. I like it. Um, but for me, it's like finding the eye of that storm. Like it's a place where you can sit down, catch your breath, and get your energy back. I actually locked my door, and I think my kids tried to get in, and I didn't even respond because this is my place. This is my place where I can sit down, catch my breath, and get my energy back because I am sharing my thoughts about God and opening it up for a conversation for anybody that wants to have it at any point in time. Um, it's in those spots you'll find real peace, which is that peace that we are all looking for. And when we get into those quiet spots, that's when we really start seeing the fruit that the Bible talks about in Galatians, like the patience and kindness. It's hard to be patient when you're caught in the wind, right? When you're going 100 miles an hour, it's hard to be patient. But when we slow down, those things just start to grow naturally. Um, Galatians was a verse that we talked about a lot at Rising Weekend from our church. Um, Message me if you live in the Buford, Georgia area, because I got a church for you to go to where I will tell you God is good. Okay, so going back, there's also that verse in Second Corinthians that says, my grace is all you need because my power works best when you are weak. Man, that's powerful, right? And I love it because what does that mean for us? It means that it's okay if we don't have it all figured out yet. Um, but it's when we can finally admit that we're completely worn out and that we cannot focus. That's when the real strength shows up to help us. And we get through it because we give it to God. And that last bit in First John says that even though we can't see God, when we love each other, his love is made complete in us. And I think in a way we are all trying to find our fuel in the wrong spots sometimes, right? Just staying busy or looking at our phones, or whatever we do where we're thinking that we're actually getting rest, but we're not. But this devotional today reminds us that if we take just a minute or 2 or 3 or however long you can, just a minute at worst, to get quiet and focus on the love that we have with the people around us, we won't feel so drained. Um, it's it's finding the fuel that's actually God fuel in a way. Like it's not world fuel, it's God fuel that we need. And we lose sight of the God fuel and we don't actually fill up our God fuel. And if we don't fill up that tank, then we can't be there for anybody else, much less our family. And it says that that's where the real work truly happens. And that's where the make it work kind of faith comes in. See, the book, it says that the world is a needy place. It just flat. Okay. And when I'm stressed out and I'm trying to handle the bills and the house and the family all on my own, I'm basically trying to find fuel in an empty tank. We should not go to the world to get what we need. We don't need worldly fuel. That is an empty tank. It's not about us being superhuman or having all of the answers. It's about realizing that even when our hands are full and our heads are spinning around like a ball, well, that's not a good example because I didn't spin like I wanted, but like one of those spinning tops, right? Like when we're just out of control, That's when we need to lean back into that quiet spot. That's why we need these moments right here, because we just need to sit back and say, Lord, I am just one person trying to get it all done today. I am going to stop trying to find my own strength in the chaos, and I'm going to depend on you to help me figure this out. And when we do that, we aren't just getting by, we're letting his love show up right there in the middle of our mess, in the middle of our tornado, in the middle of our everyday lives. And that's the kind of fuel that we need, period. At the end of the day, that's the kind of fuel we need. And the more that we try to fight going and seeking and having those moments to get that godly fuel, that's when we forget who we are and we become less Christian and we become more worldly. That word, maybe it's W's today. I don't know. Anyway, so let's just take a second. Let's take a breath. Let's all that noise stop for just a minute. Let's find that cushion of calm together. So just I hope you find a quiet spot today, right in the middle of all the busyness. I hope you feel a peace that doesn't even make sense. And I hope that you know it's all right to just be still for a bit. You are doing just fine. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes. It really does mean a lot to me. So until next time, stay blessed and please take care.